Alright, here's a video review for the Pac-Man Bandai, or the Bandai Spirits Pac-Man. He is Pac-Mech, I guess, is how you want to look at it. I actually had this pre-ordered on Amazon when they first announced it, and then just, when it was time to come out, said, you know what, don't really need it. Don't really want to spend that money on it. And then my comic shop had one in the other day, and I'm like, you know what? Now that I've got some free money, and well, not free money, but I've got some extra cash, it's sitting there, it's been sitting there for a couple of weeks, I'm going to get this thing. And it's actually really pretty cool. I love Pac-Man. I really do. This came out last year as part of the anniversary, I believe. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a die cast. It's a very hefty mech. He's got little robotic ghosts. He's got a little Pac-Man figure who's in a solid pose, but you can open him up. There's little pegs. He's got little peg holes in his feet. You can peg him in to pilot the mech like that. I don't know, that moves up and down, but I don't think that actually does anything pushing on his head. I think that's just to let him smush down a little bit when you close the mouth. But you can have the mech open. He's got little posable arms. They can go up and down like that, or down, and they can rotate. He can walk. His eyes change from this mode to a the winky pose, just like his little figure is doing. I like it because it looks like one of those old Tomy robot banks that you put the quarter in the hand and flip it into his mouth, which is also very 80s-esque. But yeah, he can walk around, his eyes move. He also has shooty punchy fist. He's got a little spring-loaded punchy fist. You can also, any of these ghosts can also be attached to his arm and shot off of it for some reason. He's just catching ghosts. Instead of eating them, he catches them and turns them into projectiles. Yeah, that's it. Big and hefty. There's a little dial for the eye changing gimmick. You can store any of the pieces underneath. There's little pegs. You can store all four of the ghosts under here when they're not in use. Even the support part of the stand, if you don't want it showing or you think it's on a solid enough surface, you can take that off. It separates into two pieces and stores back here. So you just plug it in. I guess you want this going like this, because it matches the curve of the stand. But yeah, so if you want to just have, you can store all the pieces if you just want to have the Pac-Man on display. You can tuck all these guys under here. You could also, you can also store the two fists in there for if you ever wanted to display him without fists for any reason. But yeah, if you just want the mech on display, you can do that. There's actually two bits on the stand here. When you're displaying the mech, you can have Pac-Man stand here, or there's two pegs just if you want him to be a little offset. You can do that. He can also transform into a tank-ish thing. You just bring his arms forward so they can shoot the missiles forward. His legs slide out to the side like that along this track, and then flip up at the hinge. He's got a little wheel back here that he rolls on, and you rotate his feet around to have his little Pac-Man treads to face forward. He's got, I guess, missile launchers or battering plates. And it's got a little Pac-Man design on the bottom of his foot. Now he actually rolls pretty well. Little rolling Pac-Man mech. And the stand itself, if you'd like to display it this way, has a little divot for his main wheel, little divots for the two side wheels, and you can fit them in there to display him like that. And just like before, if you want him to be a little bit more solid in his display, as you can see, he kind of wants to, even with those little divots, he has a tendency to want to roll off. You can take just this piece of the stand, plug it in back here, and have it support the curve of Pac-Man's body. And it also helps you kind of line him up on where he should sit. But you have him sit there on the back on that. So yeah, just an interesting little Pac-Man collectible curio. I'm super happy with it. It's fun. It's just a neat little Pac-Man collectible to go with all of the other Pac-Man collectibles I've got. But there is the Bandai Spirits Pac-Man.